So, in a nutshell, I'm telling you that President Iti Mnangagwa needs to be set free. He needs someone to remove him. Because as long as there's no one who's removing him, he will still be presiding under duress. Presiding to destroy the economy so that he can be safe, or build the economy and be taken to the Hague. But if someone removes him without him knowing, then it's not his fault. He was removed. He wanted to stay in power, but somebody removed him and he's gone. So, that weapon of the enemies of Zimbabwe, who are using Iti Mnangagwa's past sins, who are using Emmerson Mnangagwa's Kukuraundi and the Nrambo Atswina and all the political violence, is all going to fall away. Because those agents can no longer come to the new leader and say, you did Kukuraundi, because that leader didn't do Kukuraundi. They cannot come to the new, especially if that new leader is not General Chiwenga. Now you get to understand that in the new government, why you cannot have ZANU-PF and General Chiwenga. Because the moment you put General Chiwenga, the same Americans are going to come to General Chiwenga and tell him the same thing. Don't develop your country or else we're going to take you to the Hague because of Kukuraundi. Okay? So who else are you gonna put? There's nobody in ZANU-PF that you're gonna go. We will put, because they were part of political violence in the past 10, 20 years. So at the end of the day, whichever person comes into power after Iti Mnangagwa is going to be a liability to the nation. You need a clean guy. You need a new guy. You need someone who is not in politics. Someone from the outside. Someone who's not a millionaire or a billionaire. Someone who's not a businessman. But someone who is just a citizen, a concerned citizen, who has got ability and the stamina to stand against the Americans and the Russians and the Chinese and the British and also the corrupt Zimbabweans on top of that. It's a tall order. It's a very difficult job to do. I don't think Chamisa is ready for that. And I do believe he is also compromised. You see, here's the thing about this political game. The more a person is compromised, the more it is easy for him to be used by foreign agents against his own people. And these foreign agents need to operate with compromised politicians. They don't like clean politicians. Nobody wants clean politicians, okay, in international politics. Because the moment you have a clean politician, you cannot touch him. Okay, you can look at me. If I'm president of Zimbabwe, which FBI agent is gonna come and tell me about my past political atrocities? What atrocities have I done? But with Chamisa, they might remind him of some story involving diamonds, or some story involving some secret bank account in an offshore jurisdiction that they happen to know about conveniently and threaten to tell everybody who supports him. And Chamisa is just gonna back down and say, okay, America, what do you want me to do? Okay, don't tell the Zimbabweans that there's 5 billion or there's 200 million stuck. I'm not saying there is, but I suspect there is something like that. And then because of being compromised, the country will not develop. Because they fear for their lives and they fear to protect their own individual wealth will cause them to allow themselves to be used. Not because they don't want to develop their own people, but because the conditions that are before them cannot allow them to develop their own countries. Hence, this is our job as Zimbabweans. Don't even ask King Charles or the Americans. They will never do that. They actually are the problem. It is our job to ensure that the next government has got no ZANU-PF in it. It's got no Triple C in it. It's got none of all of those politicians that you know. All of them are compromised one way or the other. All of them have got shenanigans that they can be used against them so that they can work against us. Now, I do believe that Chamisa wants to build Zimbabwe. I think he loves Zimbabwe to some certain extent. But judging by how he has been behaving with Edim Mnangagwa in the past few weeks, of past few years, it's easy that once they dig up data on Chamisa, okay, let's be serious here. You and I know very well about the data I'm talking about. Okay. Once that data is dug up, of course the Americans and the Chinese and the British, they all have information of everybody's bank account and how their business dealings. They've got all of those things. And they will look for the dirty part of it and use it against you. You will not develop Zimbabwe, Mr. Chamisa. I'm telling you. You will not be able. The moment they show you your account, let's say there is. I don't want to be sued for things I didn't say. If there is an account with something in there and they present it on the table, Mr. President, you will do everything that the CIA wants you to do, which is making sure that the economy does not develop. Black people will carry on to be impoverished so that they can be used as cheap labor overseas. But when you put someone like me, who has got no history in active politics, there is no, whether US or British or Chinese or Russian agent, who will come to me and tell me nonsense about money in a foreign jurisdiction where there is nothing. Okay, no one's gonna tell me about Muramba Sina. I wasn't there. About Kukurawundi, I wasn't even born. What are they gonna do? Nothing. They are hoping that Zimbabweans are stupid. When we remove ED, we're going to put somebody from ZANU-PF or somebody popular. And they know all of them are all compromised. Even Bese, Bana Chabangu, Bana, what is Tendai BT, everyone. Welshman, Mube, Tokozani, Kope, all of them. They are all compromised. And because of that is the reason why putting any one of them in power is taking one step forward and 10 steps backwards. They are weak candidates. Zimbabwe needs a strong candidate to take the country forward. That is a political virgin. Aside ICWA politically. That is why virgins are very important in the world. There is a reason for that. We can't marry someone who has damaged goods. Marry a virgin. So for a new Zimbabwe, we need a virgin president, a virgin government, virgin cabinet. People who are not compromised. People whom the US military or the British military or whatever military cannot coerce into their oppressive and unjust ways of siphoning public wealth for the purposes of impoverishing the whole nation. Now you do understand what I mean when I say I should be the leader of Zimbabwe and not Chamisa or Edim Mnangagwa or General Chiwenga, because none of them, all of them are already damaged goods. I'm still a virgin. That is the point. That is the idea. That is the key to a successful Zimbabwe. Because all of your favorites can be abused. What you really need to understand at the core of my message is my addressing the abuse of our leaders by Western states or Western agents. The cohesion of our leaders into doing things that are despicable against their own people. Not because these Chamisas and these Mnangagwas hate us, no. But they've got no choice. They're put in a tough corner. And they cannot tell us publicly what they're going through. They have to be strong like a man and pretend everything is okay when nothing is okay. I do not believe that Edim Mnangagwa hates Zimbabweans so much that it doesn't want anything to be built. Not at all. I remember when he was asking about the train from Bulawayo to Harare, and he was told it doesn't work, and he was so concerned. meaning that he actually does want the NRZ to be functional. The fact that it's not functional is not his desire. But the wars that Idi Mnangagwa is fighting are the kind of wars that he cannot tell you and I. That is the loneliness at the top. There are things that the man is going through that he cannot discuss with us. The things that we blame him for. And he can also understand why we blame him, but he knows that he cannot fix what we are complaining about. And he knows also that he cannot even tell us that, sorry guys, I cannot fix this because of APC. He cannot even tell us. The moment he tells us, he's going to be in trouble. That is why I do believe that Idi Mnangagwa really desires to be removed. But he wants the people to remove him without telling him. Because if he was removed without him knowing, or without him, out of his will, without him being part of it, then he can tell the oppressive agents, they removed me. What do you want me to do? And then those who remove him, you protect him. That is the importance of forgiveness. Because here's the thing. Here's the reason why you must forgive Idi. You must forgive Kokrao. You must forgive Rabaswin. You must forgive ZANU-PF. You must not persecute them not because of the traditional argument is that we must forgive ZANU-PF because if we don't forgive them, they will not get out of power because they are in power to protect themselves. Okay, it's a valid reason, but the more useful one is this, so that we can free them from being abused by foreign agents who coerce them into making decisions that are anti-Zimbabwean because of the crimes that they've done before. So if we forgive them of their crime, not because we love them, we don't. We forgive them of their crime so that we can disempower the Western powers who are impoverishing Zimbabwe via threatening ZANU-PF with the Hague and international courts and other punishments because of the past. So we as Zimbabweans need to let go of Idi and ZANU-PF. That is how we achieve our own freedom. So we're forgiving them not because we love Idi, not because we love ZANU-PF. No, we don't. We hate ZANU-PF to the core. We forgive them because that is how we disempower our real enemies, which are the enemies of Zimbabwe, the enemies of black people, the enemies of black progress. They are hoping that our unforgiveness of Idi Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF is what is keeping them having this hold on Idi. So gentlemen, go ahead. Idi must be removed. That's what he wants, but he won't tell you. He cannot tell you. You understand what I'm saying? He cannot tell you. All right. He doesn't want to tell you. He probably wants to tell you, but knows he cannot tell you. And when you remove him, keep him safe. And when you are choosing a new government, you don't use any of the politicians. No one. They are all compromised. What you need is virgin politicians. And you know where to find them.